Dhanushri?
Yes, ma'am. Shall I start?
Yes.
Innovation doesn't come in size. A very good morning and warm welcome to all the organizers and participants to our 5 days virtual hackathon event organized by the Department of Computer Science and Engineering of SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Ramapuram campus, associated with Indian Service. We're happy to inform you all that our SRM Ramapuram campus is first to initiate virtual hackathon to engage you during this lockdown period. And I'm also glad to share that we have got 3,000 registration and hope everyone takes part actively to bring this event into a grand success. This virtual hackathon aims to bring together AIML enthusiasts, IoT, talented developers, designers, entrepreneurs to solve real world problems, business challenges with multiple partner challenges. Our goal is for participants to make use of this pandemic situation to create something innovative and transformative. The time limit in a hackathon forces participants to distill their visionary concepts down to actionable solutions. We thank our management for giving us this wonderful opportunity and full freedom to organize this virtual hackathon event. And we also thank our director and dean sir for giving us approval to conduct this event. And yeah, we cannot start our event without thanking our HOD sir, Dr. N. Kannan. Now let's have a short glimpse about today's session. Mr. Bharat, final year CSC student, will give introduction about SRM Ramapuram campus. And Mr. Sai Sadish, CEO and founder of Indian Servers, will talk about Indian Servers and internship for the winners. Ms. R. Satya ma'am will give introduction about our HOD sir. Mr. Sriharsha, lead AI research automation Edge, will give motivational talk to the participants about hackathon and NVIDIA voucher for the winners. Mr. Saideep, Mr. Bharat, and Mr. Sandeep will give us a brief explanation about the problem statements. And to the last but not the least, Mr. Mohak will give us the vote of thanks. And now let me hand over the session to Mr. Bharat. Mr. Bharat, are you there?
Yeah. So yeah, before going on, let me talk about SRM. So first, in SRM, we provide the utmost experience for all the students when it comes to the field of education, technology, and science. So we have about 15 clubs in the department of CSE to provide the extra effort or the extra learning to all the students, which is generally hosted by the students, developed by students, and for the students. So here we focus on the practical knowledge when it comes to the field of computer science. We have a lot of other events like Texas, various other events like national level hackathons, symposiums, and various more to engage the students into the field and for them to understand what is more important for themselves. So apart from that, we do also have a lot of events in these, especially during this COVID time. We have hosted a lot of virtual events and online events for students to develop and to become better of what they're doing as of now. So before going, there are two speakers for today. Let me give a brief introduction about our first speaker. So his name is Mr. Sai Satish. Sai Satish is a young entrepreneur and a founder and CEO of Indian Servers. So he's the administrator of Andhra Hackers, which is supposed to be the top hacking awareness forums in India. He's a renewed ethical hacker and a cybersecurity expert. He's also a TEDx speaker, and he has also given he has also addressed thousands of students and professionals and have been benefited by his lectures. He has delivered tremendous speeches in IIT and in various other universities such as IIMs and many more. He has given lectures about 350 plus engineering colleges all over India. So more than that, he's also been invited in the JARCA's Entrepreneur Special Summit. He has also been invited to the Global Entrepreneurship Summit along with his corporates trained in many central and state organizations of employees. So he was awarded the IAS office. He was awarded by the IAS officers for helping out with the government sites to improve their security, safe transaction, and forensic investigators. So to be honest, before going in, reading through all of this has taken more time than anyone could hope because his achievements are huge. His achievements list has been so huge. So guys, please give a big round of applause and please stay tuned for our first speaker, Mr. Sai Satish.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Bharat. Thank you very much, SRM University, and for giving us opportunity to associate with you. And welcome all participants. In this virtual hackathon program, a lot of problem statements are there. So who solves those problem statements? At least few. We are going to provide them a virtual internship for those winners, as well as we are going to provide some basic stipend also for those winners. That's what we want to provide from our Indian servers. So that's all I want to share with the students, guys. Yeah, Bharat, over to you. Bharat, Bharat, over to you.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. So moving on with the next speaker, Mr. Sri Harsha. So Sri Harsha, a cyber forensic enthusiast with experience in machine learning and backend programming. He's on a mission on creating an AI-powered environment by fostering an interaction between students, startup and professionals in AI. His love for teaching, reading, and traveling is huge. He is keen on meeting and engaging with professors, students, and developers in AI and cybersecurity throughout the nation. He is an AI consultant. He is making developers for the future, and he's a serial entrepreneur. So please welcome Mr. Sri Harsha.
Hey, thanks, Bharat. Thank you for the kind introduction. So, hi guys. So, welcome to this virtual hackathon. And first of all, my honorable thanks for SRM Institution for inviting me as a speaker for this hackathon. And happy to see Indian servers doing this fantastic job, in this remote time or in this pandemic times, enabling students with innovatively with with new skills and as part of the hackathon. So I would be talking more about what hackathons in general, how how to make winning products rather just than just doing some projects or solving problems simply. So this is all with my experience so far. Uh, so for all the people, just to quickly tell, I mean, I'm just like one of you a few years ago who used to sit in class and whenever or look for any kind of these hackathons to go to learn from them uh, and to try to build the products that wins the show. So ultimate goal everyone want here is how do we build. It's not about whether we win it or lose it. It's all about how the journey that we go through when we are building anything. So that's the part, or that's what will be with you for your lifetime. So I'll just quickly discuss a few tips and tricks here, and how you can solve the particular problem efficiently. So first of all, nothing is going to happen without a good team. And when I say good team, there are going to be a few parameters here when you are defining your team yourselves, or when you are engaging with your team members. How do you form a team? So there is no again. So here there is no point when you have uh, team members of the same skills. Instead, the team members should be of your complementing skills. So for instance, every team should be consisting of an executive person. Every team should be consist of an idea, the innovative mind or the ideation person. Every team should there should be a real coding geek who would actually, no matter what the idea is, just go for it, implement it, and get it done. So and also the fourth person can be someone who really markets that idea. So these are the four aspects, the execution of any idea, and the person who actually can ideate the things, and then the coding geek who will actually write the code, who will probably, and the person who can market it well. So here when I say a person, it need not be a different separate individual person, but These are the 4 aspects that you mainly have to focus as a team when you're doing. And the moment you have it, that's the first step that you can probably be taking towards your successful path or building a right product. Now, the most important or the biggest mistake everybody does is the moment, being a computer science or being a technical student for that matter, the moment we see the problem statement, so we are so enthusiastic, we jump into solve, and that's the biggest mistake everybody will be doing. So I would love you guys to follow these techniques instead of just seeing a problem and solving. First, understand the problem. So discuss the problem and try to put down, narrow down. So when you see a problem, it's a very top level problem or it's a very high level problem. So the moment you see a problem, you have to go through it, read about it, understand the domain knowledge. Like for instance, there is a problem statement saying, I mean, you have to develop so and so a problem, I mean, so and so application to solve some X problem that is caused because of this pandemic. So you have to understand, first of all, what exactly are we talking about here? So we are talking about specifically some the COVID pandemic that is occurred, and inside that we are talking about a problem X. So we have to understand the root causes of that problem. So why is that causing, and what are the effects of that problem? If you can do a quick research on the domain knowledge that you're doing, so that will add an additional uh, you know a bit of the thought process that you can think of in that direction. And and once you narrow down your problem statement into the sub problems, or the list of the problems that fall under this top level problem statement that you're trying to solve, I mean, that's where you're trying to define a goal, identify what exactly you're trying to, or identifying the right problem that you're planning to solve in the short period that you have. So first understand uh, uh, the domain knowledge. I mean, first get the domain knowledge. Try to see the a list of sub problems that occur, or the challenges in other words, and then also have an idea what is the deadline for you. And it's a fact that we cannot solve everything in 3 days or 5 days. So there is a limit that we can do in the 5 days. So what is the best that you can do is always matters. It's not about whether I have solved it completely versus whether I have solved it partially, but to the with a greater accuracy is something always a trade-off. So the moment you have you know the deadlines, the timelines for it, and that's where you have to pick the sub problem. So inside this top problem, let's for instance you have listed down 10 sub problems. So that's where, I mean, you would probably be not able to solve 10 sub problems in 5 days. So for that matter, so in such cases it's always good to choose wisely the top 4 or 5 sub problems which can come as a features in your application that you're trying to develop at the end of the day. And that 4 or 5 features, if you can develop end to end, that would be the best. And I'm telling you, document whatever you're doing right from the day one, or right from the first second, and because all that is going to really help you when it comes to the end. You find out that you pick the right problem statement, you pick the right sub problems, and then start digging out, doing more research on the challenges. Invest a lot of your time in the beginning, at least for most of the time. I mean, 40% of your time, just come up with the ideas to solve it. You use any kind of design thinking techniques. So you just pick a problem, you just try to bunch in or put in as many ideas as you can think in 2 to 3 minutes. Discuss with your team, or discuss or go through them again and again, and try to pick the best idea, or whatever the best solution that you think is feasible, as well as easy, I mean, feasible and usable. So that kind of a strategy for planning how you want to solve it would actually make you clear. And when you start writing the code is probably the last but one step. So the whole part or the whole beauty of any product lies in the ideation and then designing the solution approach to it. So if you guys have done it, or if you guys are planning to do it, then fantastic. I mean, you will have always a straight path. So there is always a strategy called forward engineering, and there is always the other strategies called, reverse engineering, and etc. etc. So the benefit of following this forward engineering strategy is you always take a step ahead. You don't come back to it. And the benefit of not following is it's going to be like zigzag path. So you must have seen in your academic projects where you might have not a plan, you might not have a real plan. Instead you do something, and then you realize there's a problem with this approach, and then you come back again, you restart it. So that kind of a restart will not happen when you try to keep yourself in the forward engineering mode, right? And that's pretty important, because hackathons are restricted in the terms of time, and it's always timely, and in what you have, like as a 3 to 4 days effectively to build a product. So that's where it's really comes out how efficiently you manage all the time you have. And in such cases, I would strongly recommend to go with this kind of forward engineering techniques rather than anything else. And more importantly, it's not about you innovating or doing everything from the scratch. So if there is a sub requirement or a sub problem that is already been solved, why not take it, mention it, give the credit for it, accredit it. There is no harm in that. But when you are trying to solve a bigger problem, and if some components of the smaller problems is already done and open source, whatever, you're completely free to use them. But whatever you are using, you should give them the credit. And also there should be an innovative way of using it. So it need not be the you just take the entire application from somewhere and you put it, and you give the credit. That doesn't matter. That doesn't make sense. So instead of that, if your solution if your solution solving a bigger problem, and in that you're using certain things that are already available, that's absolutely fine. So in short, you don't need to do everything from the scratch in the current days of the development. You probably can pick up some sub problems or smaller problems or problems that are already solved. So that's absolutely fine. And before I close this talk. So the most important, whatever you do, it's all about how you present it well. So if you have done, there's a team who has probably put in there like days and nights and have done really fantastic thing, fantastic product. It works perfectly amazing, but the way they present it, or the use cases they have picked for the demonstration are not good, and that's where it all goes off, right? So the presentation is going to be the face of your product. So how you present it is what the judges see. How you present it is what the whole public sees, right? So it's always really important that you have a really good use case. So if you have seen a couple of years back when Sundar Pichai entered on stage, and when he showed the capabilities of Google Voice Assistant that can do it for you, it can become your personal assistant. So it can book a haircut for you. So that was a basic example that probably Sundar Pichai has taken on stage and demonstrated there. So here in that case, we don't know. What exactly are we interested in about? But it just, when you see that whole presentation, it gives a wow a factor to you. So that's what. So when you pick any use case, you first understand about the persons or the people whom you are presenting to. Okay, and like try to pick out a certain example that gives them really wow, okay, I can connect to this example. So that kind of examples probably you have to pick in, and just whatever the examples that you pick, your application should work end to end. So there should be a seamless integration. So it should not be like, okay, like I will upload data here and then I will execute some other program back which will read that data from there. So the more interruptions I do in this process, the more you will probably lose the. I mean, the judges will lose you. So so I'm just giving a simple example here. So let's say I'm just trying to uh, uh, build an object recognition app. So I'm not trying to build anything really great here. I'm just trying to build an object recognition app, for instance. So what kind of images that I'm going to pick as a for demonstration is something really important. And how do I demonstrate it? Okay, so when I say how do I demonstrate it, so it should not like I upload an image from one interface and then I go to some other interface. I execute another program to read that image, and I go to some other place and I execute some again another program to get. So that's just cluttered. So you have not connected the pieces all together. But what it should look like me is I shouldn't, I mean, probably demonstrating anything related to backend. I just upload a image and I get the results there itself. So this kind of, I mean, the connecting the pieces together is equally important. So, and that's where a lot of challenges will arise. So when you probably have built a deep learning or AI model that recognizes by taking an input image, it would be working absolutely fine. But when you try to integrate with application, which you guys or which in general people will think will be the last step, and there will be a lot of challenges may arise. So whatever you're building as a backend, try to connect it with the other components every iteratively in regular intervals, so that you guys can have it tested, and you don't need to really worry about the when the deadline is right in front of you. And do these kind of things well in advance so that it will not affect how you demonstrate it. So plan your demo, make a excellent presentation, and demonstrate it really really well, or whatever you have. So whatever you have, you show it really nice. So that's what matters in the end. So I think, yeah, that's it from my end. And before you guys start, wishing you all a very very good luck. Thanks for it. Over to you.
Thanks a lot. It's been a very valuable session from both these speakers. From what they have achieved, the knowledge we can gain out of them is like really huge. And I would like to thank Mr. Sai Satish and Mr. C. Harsha for sharing their knowledge. So now moving on with the next, I would like to invite Mr. Satya ma'am to take on the stage. Ma'am, over to you.
Yeah, thank you all for joining with us. Without continuous support of our HOD and management, we would have not started this event at all. We thank you, sir, for the motivational provider. We have initiated this virtual hackathon to engage yourself during the entire lockdown period. And we are very happy to share you all that we have got 3,000 registrations. We expect active participation from all of you. We will provide you the link for submission soon. And thank you, all the resource persons and all the participants. Let us have happy learning. Over to Bharat.
Yeah. Next, I would like to call Mr. Saideep for discussing the problem statements. So he's going to be discussing the first 5 problem statements. So Mr. Saideep, over to you.
Yeah, I am here. So the first question was, right? Just give me one moment. So the first question was, write a program for constant number 4 or 5 or 6 digit. So the description was, 6174 is known as the Carpier's constant. After the Indian mathematician Dr. R. Carpier, this number is notable for the following rule. Take any 4-digit number using at least 2 different digits. Leading zeros are allowed. Arrange the digits in descending and then ascending order to get the 2 4-digit numbers, adding leading zeros if necessary. Then the third step would be subtract the smaller number from bigger number. Go back to step 2 and repeat. So we have provided a link here, the Wikipedia link. You can know what the constant number means from this link. So the expected output would be, write a program to find 4 or 5 or 6 constant number using any program language. Yeah. Moving on to the second question. It was sea surveillance bot to help Indian Navy. So the description would be, the bot should capture pictures or videos and send it to the monitoring station through satellite. The power source of this bot should be solar or hydrokinetic energy or marine energy. Expected output. Build a sea surveillance bot to monitor, capture pictures or videos and send it back to the monitoring station through satellite. It should be able to go to any location by command center. You can use PVC or plastic for building the body bot and any sensors. So moving on to the third question, it was autonomous vehicle for patrolling to help police. The description would be, the bot should automatically monitor the areas during nights. It should capture photos and videos, then send it back to the control room using GSM or any communication medium. The expected output would be, the bot should be fully automatical. It should patrol the streets during nights. It should move to the specific location using GPS. The bot can be of any size and material. The power source of this bot can be petrol, diesel, or solar. So moving on to the fourth one, autonomous vehicle to detect landmine. The bot should function automatically. It should be able to detect landmines in the forest or military areas and report it back to the monitoring station. The bot should be able to move on the rough surface. The expected output would be like, build an autonomous vehicle. It should be able to detect the landmines. You can use any sensors. It can be of any size. The power source should be solar. Moving on to the fifth one, firefighting bots like drones or land bots. The bot should analyze and locate fire, conducting search and rescue. The bot should be able to lead the way into most dangerous areas of the cathedral, extinguishing flames and clearing away debris that could have harmed its human operators. The bot should be capable of traveling into areas unsafe for people through an array of sensors, visual cameras, IR, and more technology that transmits information for navigation to a remote operator. So the expected output would be, build an firefighting bot, drones or land bot using any hardware. It should video stream and to control room center. So moving on to the sixth one. Here onwards, my colleague Bharat will continue the questions. Thanking you all.
Yes, thank you, Swajit. So the sixth question is, decoding lies, depression from brainwaves. So the description is, every motion, every thought is a wave in brain. They can be captured from brain using EEG caps. Now you should be able to decode whether a person is in stress or depression based on the brain wave pattern. Also detect lies wave pattern. So the next question is, anti-theft system for two-wheelers. The participant teams are required to come up with a system that doesn't allow tampering with the ignition system of 2 watt and also prevent fuel thefts, etc. The system needs to warn the owner about the tampering of the two-wheeler's ignition key or fuel knob when the parking mode is on. So the team shall develop a mobile application for warning the owners or user. The vehicle should not start when the ignition key switch is tampered with. If the vehicle is lifted during the parking mode, the app should alert the user or owner through an app and also track the vehicle. The system should also have the following features: tampering detection of ignition wire attempt, to siphon the fuel attempt, and to lift vehicle attempt to start vehicle without key, app or mobile warning system. So the next question is virtual health assistant. So the participants have to develop a device that can help people living with chronic medical conditions to regularly monitor their health parameters and vitals in order to live a healthy life. The device should monitor health conditions like diabetes and should alert family members and relatives if the patient's health deteriorates. The device should also send timely reminders to the patients to take medications. So the next question is development of cost efficient freeze and drying technology for vegetables and leaves. The green vegetables and leaves are mostly seasonal. They are not available throughout the year. Dehydration is one of the preservation methods to serve these seasonal varieties because 80% of green vegetables and leaves are not consumed and thrown in the form of garbage. In India, sun drying, solar drying, electrical or oil fried dryers are commonly used to dry these products. In these methods, sensors quality of the product is reduced. The taste and flavor of product varies a lot from natural product. Nowadays, freeze drying technology is available in country which is beyond the limit of MSMEs because of its higher cost. Efforts may be made to develop low cost technology ensuring natural taste and affordable to MSMEs. So the next question is detection of fake profiles. And carry out defaming political and religious propaganda on large scale against individual or organizations or government bodies. They are creating unrest among the society. So we are expecting the desired solution is the solution will be able to detect fake profiles and similar fake profiles across the social media and create social media profiling with a detailed metadata of respective user, and it shall be capable to assist trace back anonymous suspects. Then we'll go to the next question. So sanitizer spray via high weighted drones. The drone should spray sanitizers all over the city. It can be fully autonomous or semi-automatic or even remote control. The drone should have minimum of 20-liter capacity. The expected output is build a drone of minimum weighting capacity of 20-liter tank for sanitizers. It should meet necessary current and voltage requirement. A first-person view camera and video transmitter must be fixed in the drone for monitoring the spraying process. The next question is we have to create an app to remove all Chinese apps automatically. This app should be able to detect and remove the Chinese apps from the devices automatically. The expected output is you have to build an app useful for the Indian government in helping them to remove the Chinese app. You can use any software to create an app. So the next question is web-based application useful for airport authorities of India. A web-based application using blockchain technology is sought from airport licensing to retrieve important and relevant project related information from pool of data source. That is SAP, email, e-office, scan data, and database. The desired features we are expecting is concerned officers can upload relevant data related to airport licensing from airport, seamless approval process, centralized monitoring, and suggestion mechanism. Relevant information should be fetched from data source linked to a particular project which can be used in an hour of need. So thank you.
Yeah, these are the problem statement, guys. So a description, you can find in the description, we have provided a submitting form for the solutions. If you refresh this particular video, you can find in the description, we updated the description with the form. You have to come up with the solutions in a form of video or a kind of blueprint or a prototype or a program. You can submit in the below mentioned form in the description. Yeah, over to Bharat.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all. Like before moving on, like you guys can submit through the various links that is given below. And for any details, please refer to any of the people who are organizing here. And once again, thank you all for helping us out. Thank you.